Hello? Hello, is this Carol? Hey Carol, how you doing? No, I'm in this little town called Kingman and I found this really cool museum. You should come and check it out. Yeah, the kids are doing good. Kids are doing good. Yeah. Thanks for calling. Yep. Love you too. Hey guys, this is Ryan from Journeys and Destinations, and with this quick little video, I just want to talk for a few minutes about Kingman, Arizona, and why I personally consider it to be such a fun travel destination. Definitely a little unorthodox, not the most traditional tourist destination, but definitely a place worth stopping, especially if you happen to be passing through Arizona, and especially if you happen to be spending some time in fabulous Las Vegas. It makes for a very good day trip at the very least. Let me explain why. As a quick sidebar, my first impression of this town turned out to be 100% wrong. So, when we initially got there, the first place we went was Walmart. We had forgotten a few essentials and we ran in to grab them. And in the 15 minutes or so we were in this local Walmart, we spotted at least 3 individuals that were packing heat, if you catch my drift. And these weren't just little 22 caliber pea shooters like the kind of thing I keep at home for home defense. They were straight on hand cannons, the kind of thing you would see in an old John Wayne-esque western. So my first impression of the town was we're in Marty Robbins' Big Iron Town. But the longer I was in town, the more friendly people turned out to be and the more inviting of a community it felt overall. So by the time I left, I actually felt kind of bad for having such a negative thought about this town coming in. Also, for the record, we stayed at the La Quinta Inn off of Stockton Hill Road, which was probably the best choice of hotel in the entire town. I've never been to a La Quinta this clean. The staff was very friendly, the pool deck was a lot of fun, the breakfast was exquisite. The only major complaint I have is that the security doors took forever to close. And all things considered, that's a very minor borderline nitpick. I might just make a video on this hotel. That's how impressed I was by just how much bang I got for my buck staying here. Anyway, on to my reasons. This is more of a logistical thing than a cultural thing, but I gotta say, its location really does feel perfect. Now, of course, being along historic Route 66, literally any stop along that road is a fun place to stop, but Kingman stands out just for its sheer proximity to some of the biggest and most bumping tourist destinations in the southwest United States. For example, Laughlin is only about an hour out, and probably the one everybody knows and likely has mixed feelings on, Las Vegas is only about an hour and a half out. Per Google Maps, it's typically about an hour and 35 minutes to go from Mandalay Bay at the Strip to downtown Kingman. I also have to mention that the drive itself takes you through some of the most beautiful parts of southern Nevada and northern Arizona. If you can help it, I strongly recommend leaving Las Vegas about 45 minutes before the sun rises so that you can watch the sunrise just as you get in clear Hoover Dam and coming into the Arizona desert. It is absolutely beautiful and absolutely beyond reproach. So, as with many of my favorite destinations, half the fun of visiting Kingman is the journey, not just the destination. Where have I heard that before? Anyway, moving on. There is something indescribably humbling about the beauty of Arizona. You have snow-capped mountains, you have gorgeous lakes and rivers, you have open desert, you have Rocky Mountains, all in one small geographic area. It's really kind of fascinating, actually. And Kingman is just one example out of dozens I could think of just how beautiful the state of Arizona is. I find it kind of fascinating, especially driving into town. It seemed like the older parts of town were physically built in and into the local mountains. And given that it technically started as a mining town, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised there. Either way, this is an absolutely beautiful spot. Unfortunately, we did not have the time to check out any of the hiking trails, of which there are several from what I've been able to gather, but that's just one more thing we can do next time. All things considered, this is a particularly beautiful spot, and anybody that likes Rocky Mountains and desert vistas definitely needs to take some time and explore Kingman. It is fascinating to see just how much history is here in Kingman, given how small and seemingly obscure and insignificant it may seem to the larger public. And few places exemplify that quite like the Arizona Route 66 Museum, which is just off of the historic downtown district. I can't get over just how, not only how fascinating this museum was, but how well curated everything was. I'll show you some video clips and some photos here, but I'm not going to spoil everything. I highly recommend checking out this museum. There's local history, there's transportation. It even ties the history of the small town into the broader scope of American history, talking about things like how the Dust Bowl affected Kingman, how different veterans of various wars lived in Kingman, and so on and so forth. And there's a few more surprises here. Like I said, I don't want to spoil everything, but there is so much history to find in this small town that in and of itself makes it worth checking out. And those are my 3 biggest reasons for visiting Kingman. Again, if you're staying in Las Vegas and you have the time and you have a car, I strongly recommend checking this town out. It is a very fun day trip, very beautiful scenery there and back, and of course, you just can't go wrong with some of the local history to be found there. On a more personal note, there also happens to be a Culver's in Kingman, and I have a minor obsession with Culver's. Being a local in Las Vegas, it's one of the only restaurants I do not have access to on a regular basis, so definitely worth checking out just for that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.